Provided, however, the pledge shall not be led by an individual who supported an insurrection against the government of the United States in any way. Because I think if we adopt this amendment, then we will be truthful in representing that stating this pledge is an affirmation of your defense of democracy and the Constitution. It's hard to take that claim seriously if, in fact, an individual who in any way supported an insurrection against the government of the United States is allowed to lead the pledge.
Okay, so that was Congressman David Cicilline from the state of Rhode Island, who has been a congressman since 2011. Before that, he was the mayor of the city of Providence, Rhode Island from 2003 to 2011. And before becoming mayor, he served 4 terms in the Rhode Island House of Representatives. All these years, in my opinion, has done zero. He's from a blue state, a liberal state, where they want to take, and give nothing. As far as I'm concerned, he's just another Democratic politician who doesn't want to have a real job, but wants to make money sitting in Congress now, bickering about, of all things, the Pledge of Allegiance. Matt Gaetz from Florida had a constituent there, a military veteran, who wanted to say the Pledge of Allegiance. But Cicilline basically objected with an amendment that no one should be allowed to say the Pledge of Allegiance if they supported the January 6th insurrection. Okay? Because Cicilline was part of that bullshit committee. We all know they found nothing. They wasted God knows how much money belonging to the taxpayers in their witch hunt on Donald Trump. You all know I was never a Donald Trump fan. I'm still not. But Cicilline was one of the cohorts in that nonsense that they televised so all the liberals, all the bleeding hearts could say, oh, look what they're doing. They're so wonderful. Well, Cicilline's amendment didn't go too far as I'm concerned, because quite frankly, it shouldn't matter who says the Pledge of Allegiance. You're pledging to the flag of the greatest country in the world. But according to him, if you supported the insurrection, then you shouldn't be allowed. So then Matt Gaetz came back with a little more. And in my opinion, Cicilline had a little hissy fit, if you will. So have a look at this clip.
Friendly amendment, and I look forward to supporting it.
Would the gentleman yield for
I first ask
question?
Mr. Gaetz if he'll support the amendment. To make sure that someone who led an insurrection against the United States doesn't make a mockery of the Pledge of Allegiance and stand before this committee with their hand over their heart claiming to support the Constitution.
Mr. Cicilline, my concern would be if your definition of an insurrection is objecting to electors, then there would be many Democrats on the committee that wouldn't be eligible to lead the pledge, since so many
That's
objected.
not my definition of an insurrection.
The last Republican president to get sworn in absent Democrat objectors was George Herbert Walker Bush.
Claiming my time, Mr. Gaetz, I will allow the chairman to determine whether or not someone has participated in insurrection in the United States. I think this language is important.
Would the gentleman further yield?
I'm asking Mr. Gaetz, will you now accept the amendment?
Well, I'm concerned that you may be disqualifying too many of your own members, Mr. Cicilline.
I'm not concerned about that at all. Then agree to the amendment. I'm talking about elected officials who swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States, who in any way participated, supported, facilitated, encouraged the insurrection against the government of the United States.
So Cicilline was upset. The poor guy was upset that Matt made a little joke and said, then most of the Democrats wouldn't be eligible to lead the pledge. And David said, that's not what I'm talking about. This is nothing more than another Democrat who does not support the Constitution of the United States, because he's one of the ones who wants to take away our rights to bear arms. He's one of the ones who wants to take away our right to free speech. He wants to take that away with Pelosi and Schumer and every other bleeding heart Democrat that's been sitting in Congress half of their life. They do not care about the Constitution, and they never will. And if they don't get their way, they'll have their hissy fits just like David did. Okay? The one thing he'll stand behind and he'll protest for and he'll support is LGBTQ rights. He'll be right up front supporting that. And he'll believe that men can be women. And he'll want you to believe it too. And if you don't, you're a bigot. You're the bad person. But I want to take away your guns. And I don't want you to be able to say bad things about people that may trigger them. So if that man led or was involved in the insurrection, he can't say the Pledge of Allegiance. Give me a break. This guy has been a useless politician, in my opinion, and I'm entitled to it under the Constitution of the United States, has been useless, has done nothing for Rhode Island, and will continue to do nothing. But then Representative Wesley Hunt had his turn at the mic, and I loved everything he had to say, and I'm pretty sure David wasn't too happy about it. Have a look at this.
Political conversation about this is actually wrong. The only thing that we want to do is recognize the best, those brave men and women that are willing to give their lives and a sacrifice for us to be able to convene the day in a room like this. I am one of those people. I served in combat. I'm a West Point graduate. I am the kind of person like that gentleman sitting right there that's willing to die for this country. For us to sit here together and offer just a little bit of homage to those that are willing to do that, I think it's not nothing we shouldn't be doing. It's actually necessary. You see, that flag represents the deaths of thousands of men and women. 14 of them actually my West Point classmates. And every day that I get up, I look at that flag and I thank God that we are here. So the fact that we get to sit here together and have this conversation based on the sacrifice of that flag and the gentleman that came here and said today should speak volumes to how we should conduct ourselves moving forward in the future. Quite frankly, you are correct, sir. We should be saying the pledge every single day, every single morning, and every single committee. Because when I was in elementary school, that's what I did. And I worked my butt off to be sitting here right now in this room. And the least we can do is to pay homage to the sacrifice of those that have come before us to say, you know what, Democrat or Republican, we are in this together. That flag is the one thing that unites us. Let's just take 30 seconds to put all of our differences aside and say, we can agree that this country is wonderful. This country has done outstanding things, and that brave men and women were willing to die for it. And that's what sets us apart from every other country in the entire world. Every generation stands up to die and fight for that flag. The least we can do is say the Pledge of Allegiance. I yield back.
See, Congressman Hunt doesn't have a problem with it. He doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. He believes everybody should be able to lead the pledge, pledging to the flag of our country. And after all, he knows what he's talking about. He's a West Point graduate, a military veteran who served a tour of duty in Iraq, and he was an Apache helicopter pilot. That's right, he flew helicopters. What did David Cicilline fly, other than the pride flag over City Hall in Providence? Now, you know me. I don't give two shits who's gay, who's straight, who thinks they're a woman. I don't care. Cicilline has no room to talk on this matter. He supports Joe Biden and all his failures and all his policies and all his wants to take away every right that us as American citizens have. Cicilline is on board with it. He should not be speaking up against a Pledge of Allegiance because he thinks someone was involved in the great insurrection. You know, because of course the Democrats think that was worse than the 2 years of George Floyd riots, or the insurrection was worse than the Rodney King riots. That's what they want you to believe. A few hours of mayhem. And was it wrong? Absolutely it was wrong, and I don't support it one bit. But these Democrats want us to think that that day, January 6th, was the same thing as BLM destroying, burning property for 2 years. Rodney King riots, destroying and burning property. January 6th was nothing at all. As a matter of fact, one person got killed that day and was shot by someone inside the Capitol, I believe, a Capitol police officer who was never charged. Nothing. But they're locking people up because that's what the Democrats do. How dare you? And again, it was wrong, but they made a mockery of our Constitution with all their trash January 6th hearings. And now the congressional Democrats want to argue about the Pledge of Allegiance, putting your hand over your heart and pledging to the flag of the United States of America. They want to continue to bring up that January 6th bullshit, because that's what it was. It was bullshit. I'm sorry. Cicilline is wrong. He will always be wrong. I don't care that he's an attorney. He was a mayor. I could care less. He's done nothing in Congress, just like someone who just left Congress from Rhode Island, Jim Langevin, who spent 20 years there and did zero. Cicilline is just like him. He's a career politician who doesn't want to do a real job. He wants to think he's important and feel important and put a lot of money in his pocket with the rest of the Democrats in Congress. Disagree with me if you want. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But this guy has no room to talk. He needs to listen to military veterans like Wesley Hunt. Listen to Matt Gaetz, like him or not, when he brought in a military veteran to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. But God forbid David Cicilline doesn't get his way with his amendment that he was involved in January 6th. He'll have his hissy fit, and he'll keep going until he gets what he wants. Now, I don't know the outcome of that hearing, to be honest with you, but I hope that the man that Gaetz brought in was able to lead the pledge. And if he was, I'm pretty sure Cicilline went crying in his milk because he didn't get his way. And that's ridiculous. It's a pledge to the United States flag. I don't care who is saying it. You stand up, you put your hand over your heart, and you respect it, no matter who it is. But these clowns in Congress do nothing but bicker and fight over the pledge. Our country is falling to pieces under Joe Biden's leadership, and Cicilline is one of the ones that's right on board with him. Take everything away from the American people. We want to run the show here. Shut the hell up and do what you're there to do. Do something for the people of Rhode Island and stand up like a man and put your hand over your heart and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with no matter who is leading it. And that's it. And that's my opinion on that. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. Share this video with somebody. I hope you will, because I want people to see how ridiculous these Democrats are. Acting like children to make amendments to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Give me a break. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everybody's healthy and safe, and I'll see you real soon. Have a great night.